Keep going. Backwards. Going in for one.
Yes, mate.
Backwards off the Warriors. We get it.
The Warriors, gone back. Go. It's okay.
Keep going. Johnny's good.
I'm okay. Okay, let's do end it. Okay, two. All in play now.
Okay, hang on. The next one will stop. Keep going. Keep going.
Pass the kids.
Keep going. Okay.
Just mate, happy. 32. Nothing else. Just 10 in the ram. Backwards, the last. I've got backwards with Warriors. Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still four.
Still four.
Okay.
Keep going, still four. Yes, mate. Come on, five.
Okay. 4-3.
Keep going. Still keep going. Seven. I'm going past. Yes, mate. Come on, five. Hold! Go! Not later! Good! Right, good!
Keep on wide, it's good.
Touch off the Warriors for a long time. Yeah, mate, I'm happy. 1-3.
Still one, keep going.
Yes. Go, two.
Okay,
Hold on.
the other play 32.
Time to get
now.
there.
Everyone's on. Okay, be on.
Yes, mate, happy.
Up there!
Hold! Go, two.
Okay, field goal.
Yes.
So the Warriors with a 31-20 win over Manly, and it was a very good display from Taumalolo. Jacob Laban on the edge was spectacular, while Sam Healey also produced in what was a fairly trying game in Auckland. For Manly, they were sound for the most part, but just that final 25 minutes, just like last week against South Sydney, is going to be the one that truly got away. Let's now check for the stats deep dive and how some of the key players performed for both sides. Dive in our focus starts at Jacob Laban for the New Zealand Warriors. He had 12 carries for 177 metres, 61 post-contact metres, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 41 tackles. He only missed 3 of them. Now, we spoke last week about how Laban is pushing himself more and more for NRL selection, but given some of the form of those Warriors forwards in their bounce-back win over Manly, that is easier said than done. Speaking of putting your claim out for NRL selection, Te Martin did just that. He had a great individual try, a try assist, 3 tackle breaks and 2 line breaks, leading the Warriors around the park fairly well. It is need to be said though, Tana Boyd handled a lot of the attacking kicking and he was putting them in some very sweet spots. But as an overall player, Te Martin just edging out in front in a couple of key areas at the moment. Moving to Sam Healey now, the signing from the Newtown Jets. He's so smart at a dummy half. Good support play to pick up the try. 44 tackles, 2 offloads, 3 tackle breaks in that dummy half tandem at the moment. Now, looking at Manly and Caleb Navale, he is a man that is on a mission, it seems, at the moment. 3 tackle breaks, 35 tackles, no missed, 187 metres with the ball. He is such a unique talent, and he's something that Manly are lacking in their forward department. We see, generally, when their forwards get beat, they've got nothing different, nothing interesting to attract, and this is a scenario that I think Navale could play in quite strongly, and will be one to watch over the coming weeks in this competition. Not an Aaron Shop now, and he had a really strong game. 227 metres, over 100 post-contact metres. A try and offload. Defensively, he was targeted, and he did look a little bit caught out at times. Given Manly's plethora of outside back talents, it's going to take a defensive improvement for Shop to be considered for selection, although origin time and further injuries may seem Des Hasler's hands tied. Next up, we've got Michael Cheekham, and Cheekham has been sort of an interesting player that people have forgotten about at Manly. He had 135 metres of the ball, a try assist, a line break assist, 3 offloads, proving once again he is a handful with the football. So that's the stats deep dive for this game. We're now going to take you over to Parker Street Reserve, where 2 winners last start go head to head in the Roosters and Panthers.
Outside. 3. Outside. All good. Up. Down. Yeah, all good line, mate. All good. Come into 4. We're here. Go. 1. Ben, go to the red. All good, mate, all good. Coming into 2. Wow. The line, Ben. Good. Clean run. Grounded. Onside. Onside. Yep. 3. Beyond. 3. Balls away. Still 3. 3. Still 3. Onside. Inside. Yep. Happy, mate. Coming into 4. Into 4. Break. Back to good. Go, get him. Scrummage cleared. Okay. Down. Down. Ball's down. All good. Coming into 1, mate. Last 1. Hold on. Go. That's good. Clean run. Grounded. Clean grounded, mate. I'm happy. Yeah, the clean. 3. Still 3. Keep going. Good ball. Grounded. Coming to 4, mate. All good. Yep. 3. It's okay. Through. Outside. Okay. Coming to ground. Down. No. Yep. Go. Right on short. Outside. Last. Set the line. Check on, mate. Check on. Right. You got inside. Right on. Last. Clean. Grounded. Going into 6, mate. Yep.
Penrith putting the undermanned Roosters very much on the blast furnace. A 38-10 verdict there at a stinking Hot Parker Street Reserve. AJ Kepa-Oa, Tom Jenkins and Brad Schneider torching the Roosters' right edge. But for the Roosters, though, today was a day of success with Billy Smith returning once again from injury in a very, very big way. We'll see how he did it on the Stats Deep Dive. Deep dive, we're going to kick off with Tom Jenkins. He had 15 runs for 165 metres. He had 4 try assists, 4 line breaks, a try of his own as they took apart at New Look Roosters right edge featuring 2 SG ball graduates from a couple of years ago. Strong performance by Tommy, given some of the shaky centre performances we've seen so far this year from a couple of players at the club, particularly on Friday night. He might figure himself into a first grade situation or duel off sooner rather than later. Speaking of first grade duel offs, there's no bigger question at the Panthers at the moment than their number 6. After Jack Cole's slow start to the year, Brad Schneider's earned himself a potential opportunity. He had 3 line break assists, try assists, 10 tackles and 3 offloads. Blaze Talangi was switched to the centres in this game, with Trent Tolau playing in at 5'8". Talangi was a bit quiet. He made some mistakes in his defensive patterns out at right centre. He didn't come up with any errors. He only also kicked the ball once. Trent Tolau was doing a lot of the majority of kicking. So I'll be keen to see how that Panthers Cup team looks in the coming weeks. And then Liran Patel, you go to Vegas, you're living your best life. You have to play the next week, you're a little bit jet lagged. But he's had a really good game back-to-back weeks, and it's really good to see him finally kick on in this age group. 128 metres, a try, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 19 tackles. If Ivan needs a front rower, he's got one in Liran Patel. Meanwhile, for the Roosters, we're going to break things off from tradition. Everyone is here to see the man in the centre, Billy Smith, and talk about this stat line. 9 tackle breaks, a line break assist, 4 offloads, 133 metres, and a great individual try off the scrum. In a team that was beaten as badly as the Roosters were, you are not discrediting what this man does. Meanwhile, Ethan King was sound once again, 167 metres, a line break, 3 tackle breaks. The Roosters had the halves that played in SG Ball last year, both Jake Elliott and Toby Rodwell, so King needed to be a little bit more hands-on with the ball. He was nowhere near the 30 runs he had last week, but that just goes down to possession and the Roosters completing fairly lowly, making life a little bit hard for themselves in difficult conditions. Meanwhile, Ethan Roberts, he's a man that bounced back from an All-Stars experience. We talk about what it meant for Jacob Sykes. What about here with Ethan Roberts? 34 tackles, 100% efficiency, a tackle break, a little bit limited with the ball in hand, but it's hard in those stinky conditions. Now we move over to Wynn Stadium as the Dragons took on South in the TV match of the week. All eyes were on English import Lewis Dodd.
Lines retreated. 4. Outside on 4.
Contact 1.
Grounded, happy, coming into 5. Coming into 5, yep. 1. Outside. 3. Yep. Contact okay. Coming into 4. And round.
Ground.
Yep. Go. 3. Line's good. Outside. Keep going. He's committed there. Coming in the 4. Grounded in the 4. Wide. Go. No length. Back to the ball. To the ball. Clean run. Ball. Jump. Knock on. Still up. Down. Grounded. Yeah.
Coming into 0.
Confirm 0. No. Wide. Go. 4. Outside. Grounded. Coming into 5. Yep. Hold. Go. No light.
Middle.
Back to the ball.
Keep going.
Spin out. Backwards. Keep going. Grounded. Backwards. Tackle 1. Coming into 1. Nullified. Yep. All back, cows. Correct. Line and hold. Hold the line. Wide. Go. Kick. All good there? That's all right. I'm up in grounded it. Correct.
Coming in 6.
Oh. Go. 4. All good out here. Keep going. He's in the line. He's there. Tackle's committed there. Yeah, still 4. Still 4. Going down. More tackle. Hey, line up.
Wait.
Whoa. Go.
Good. Keep going. Down. Coming into 6.
Wait. Go. 2.
That's good.
That's all right. He went to him.
Yeah, defensive.
Defensive decision.
Coming into 3.
A win there for St George Illawarra, getting back-to-back wins to start the year. A hat-trick for Ben Rumble. Dylan Egan also impressing in his unfamiliar role of lock. We've seen him play majorly on the edge. For South Sydney, they had that spurt just before half-time, but other than that, they didn't really challenge St George Illawarra. We also got to see Lewis Dodd for the first time in a competitive fixture. Let's see how he went. One place to do it, the Stats Deep Dive. To the Stats Deep Dive, we're kicking off with Dylan Egan in jersey 19. He played at lock, 9 carries for 96 metres, a try, a line break. The most impressive part for me, though, 39 tackles, no miss. The question now becomes, when does he get a chance in the NRL squad? Their forward pack seem to be lacking a little bit, and some defensive edge like Egan has, and his versatility to play in the middle and on out wide could be a bonus for the Dragons. Young centre Hayden Buchanan's still a little way off the NRL, but he's showing that his partnership out wide is going to cause some problems in this competition. He had a try, 2 line break and 2 try assists, while defending well, tackling at over 90%. The next name is Michael Molo, who had 14 runs for 162 metres, 33 tackles, and he had 1 ineffective. It was a warm day out of Wollongong, and he and Lockhart Pacifica Tonga laid the foundation for the Dragons in what was stifling conditions in Wollongong. Let's now see how South Sydney fared, with all eyes on their English number 7, Lewis Dodd. Again, breaking with tradition, we're going to start in the middle with Lewis Dodd. He picked up a try, 2 try assists. He gave us an insight into his running game with that nice little jink and away for the individual try. He made 26 tackles as well. Did come off midway through the second half with a calf injury. Hopefully it was just cramp. We'll have a bit of an idea a little bit later in the week if he has been named for the South Sydney New South Wales Cup side. Ryan Gravo was our league scene hooker of the year last year, and he played mixed between hooker and lock, a line break assist, and offload, 26 tackles, Mr. Consistent. Through the middle is Ryan Grave. Out wide, Carson Cahill, he had 139 metres off 17 runs, 51 post-contact metres, had some errors in him, but ultimately his effort trumped most on the field in this one. But right now, we are getting set to take you out to Henson Park, where the Newcastle Knights and Newtown look to continue their unbeaten starts to the year. What was truly a game full of controversy.
Back for Will! 1. Up, he's up. Down. Right.
Into 2.
Big strike, gotta wait.
2. Yep. In the 3.
Hold! Go!
4. Yep.
Right, be off. Still not touch. And down. Good player.
Yep.
And make sure you hold here, 3. Offload, still 1. Still 1. Up, down.
Into 2.
Go, 2. Not there, 6. Back now.
Much better, mate. Offload.
Play on, still 2. You're good, mate.
You on?
On.
I'm in line. Take my tip.
Get up. Pick the ball up. Go, 3. Pick the ball up. 3. Yep.
Keep going.
Broke it. Behind the ball, play on.
Yeah. Ball is feet.
Down.
The feet. Up.
Still us, backwards.
On.
Go. 4. Down. Go. 4.
No, Paul, you're way early, mate.
Last tackle, no! Go.
All good, mate.
Wide!
Shoot is good.
Nice is good. Yeah, that is through. Yep, all good.
Without some drama, a late Nanai Pulu field goal was enough to get the Jets home 23-22. The referee blew time off a couple of times in that exchange too, but the siren did sound, clock not stopping, Newtown picking up a 1-point win. There's some more controversy to get through a little bit later as well, but for the Newtown Jets, their forward pack certainly led the way. What was a fairly impressive effort. For Newcastle, nothing to be disheartened about. They kept with one of the competition front runners throughout most of the game and can find themselves a little bit unlucky. They didn't get themselves in a position to make it level. There was a major turning point in this game, and it all deals with an all-in brawl. Yes, Eli Clark and Riley Jones were sin-bin, but a sensational on-field complaint of an eye gouge turned this one on its head. Fortunately for Newcastle, their centre Riley Jones won't have to face the New South Wales Rugby League judiciary this week after Newtown outside back Eli Clark withdrew an allegation of an eye gouge in this incident in the latter stages of the first half. Jones will be free to play in next week's fixture. The stats deep dive now away from eye gouges and reports. Brad Ferdley, he had a try, 14 runs, 151 metres, 61 post-contact metres, 5 tackle breaks, 26 tackles, 1 missed. Now, we spoke with Darcy McDonald last year, and she was telling us how important that these exclusive New South Wales and Queensland Cup contract players are, and Brad Ferdley once again living up to the mould, and congratulations to him for a great start to the season. Speaking of great starts to the year, Riley Pollard, can you believe this is just his second starting open age game of rugby league? He had a hand in 2 Jets tries, 2 line break assists as well. Complimented Niwai Pulu really well, but picked his moments, went to shine and run the attack. In a young half, that's what you want to see, and there's a fair chance Riley makes the jump over Niwai, if he hasn't already, to become the sort of backup half, especially with Dan Atkinson leaving, and that's a really scary sign for Sharks fans in a good way, because Riley does have a lot of potential, because on top of being good with the ball, you saw his defensive prowess again on show. 27 tackles, only missed 2. I think Prudu missed 5, and he did like 10 less tackles. So that's really, really good from the young half. Next up, Lockie Crouch on a forwards day out, he delivered. He had a try, 123 metres, 67 post-contact metres, and 5 tackle breaks. And for a guy like Riley, like Michael Gabriel, like a Taj Ford we'll see later, Christian Dixon as well, these guys are just starting their New South Wales Cup careers. He's come up in a flag program and done a really, really good job. Now let's see how the Knights went. Now for the Newcastle Knights, it was Jermaine McEwen. 33 tackles, 12 runs, 109 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, a genuine game changer on the edge. Where he fits as far as an NRL spot long term, I'm not really sure. He's going to have to bide his time. It's going to be a bit of a slow burn for him, but when he gets in the grade, he ain't leaving. I'm calling it right damn now. Next up, Logan Aoke had a try, a game-high 192 metres. Now, we're going to acknowledge, majority of that was on the Niwai Puru intercept, but he still had a lot of carries in and around that. He also had an offload. These guys are graduating from flag to cup. You want to just see them do the fundamentals. As an outside back, come in, take your play 2, play 1 to 3 carries, and then really work hard. So that was a good sign from Logan Aoke. And then Block Ration, he had 12 runs, 127 metres, 59 post-contact metres, 33 tackles, only missing 1. Now, He's a workhorse in the middle, and he stood up given some of the outs. Tyrone Thompson was suspended. He pushed a referee in the back last week. Tom Camp was pulled, and there's a fair chance he's playing first grade this week. So Gratian did have to step up in one big way. Well, we're now moving to our Sunday fixtures. We're going to take a trip out to Ringrose Park in Wentworthville, where Parramatta getting off and running for the first time in 2025.
Keep going, on 3. Offload, keep going, on 3. On 3, still 3! Catch. Good, mate. 3. Tony, come 10, Tony! 3. You good now? 3. Keep going. Offload, keep going. 3. Pass. Running. I'm into 4. Break! Go. Keep going. Granny. Outside. Granny. Easy, boys. Charlie, get the line. Sure. Let him play it, Fred! Don't Joey! Don't on him! Hold! Go the hold! Go, 4. Hey, they've gone early. Yeah. You got it? Yep. He gets the ball to the ground. Go, 4. 16, Brock! 4. Brock! Good now, 4. Let him go! Make it! One! Wait! Out for it! Go, last. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're coming to 1. Go 4. That's good on 4. Go with them. Held. Still going. Granny.
No, Scorcher definitely improving conditions to be a tight one there at Ringrose Park. A 20-10 win for Parramatta in their first hit out for 2025. Some good players to look at. We'll look at it in the deep dive in just a moment. For Western Suburbs, again, similar to last year, they just made mistakes out wide and Parramatta absolutely tore them to shreds. Let's now look at some of the key performers in the stats deep dive. Dive down, we're starting with this new look fullback, Yoash Papali. 10 runs, 160 metres, 4 tackle breaks and offload, and we deliberately kept that late try savouring on Heath Mason. There's a big point in that game. Game is sort of on the edge. Anyone could win that game. Papali comes up with a major tackle to save the day for Parramatta. They go take the intercept through Hayes Dunster, which I'll talk about in a moment, leads to the Many Luke try. Wimmera Greg, there's all the talk this week about the pack they put out in New South Wales Cup. With all due respect, Wimmera Greg is sort of the outside looking in. There's a lot of guys with potential that we saw play in this game in the pack. He had 139 metres from 16 carries, 52 post-contact metres, 5 offloads, highly involved in a 43-minute stint. So if Jason Riles is looking to push him out, that's fine, but he's not going to go down without a fight. And then finally, Hayes Dunster, 1 try, 12 tackle breaks, 227 metres, and as we mentioned, that great defensive rate. With Parramatta's edges looking a little bit vulnerable at the best of times, Dunster's return could be a welcome one. Meanwhile, for Western Suburbs, Alex Lobb in his first game of the season, 167 metres, 17 runs, a try, 5 tackle breaks, and a line break. He's a very good player with the football, Lobb. Good goal kicker as well. We haven't really seen the best of him in first grade, with all due respect. So hopefully, if he is called upon, he can make an opportunity for himself. He'll have to earn it for New South Wales Cup. And after the way that Tigers backfire played yesterday, it's going to be really intent to see how this one shapes up. Next up, Heath Mason, just under 100 metres. He picked up that line break at the end, nearly got the winning try, 7 tackle breaks, 25 tackles. He missed just 3, defending in the front line, new for Heath Mason, but he proved himself in this one. Next up, Ruben Porter. Now, he had 11 carries, 76 metres, an offload, a tackle break, 34 tackles. He offers a lot of experience in this side. That's the main reason he's here. But this pack as a whole struggled against the might of the Parramatta pack that had a crap ton of NRL experience. So that was sort of the difference in this one. But now we're taking you out to Belmore, where Canterbury took on North Sydney. Both last start losers, both looking for a bounce back at the spiritual home.
Okay, Ben, let go of your grip. Wait here. Hold the line. Wait, Abby. Wait. Go. 3.
3. Grounded, coming into 4. Go, 4. They're early here. Okay. Interfered. Okay, 6 more, 10 metres. 10 metres. Wait! Go, last. Just watch our action from Ben on the back there. Outside through. Keep going. Keep going. Still last. Play on. Going into 6. One foot. Wide. Go. 1. Outside through. That's fine. That contact's clear. Keep going. Keep falling. That's clear. Are we grounding? Yep, I'm happy. That contact, I don't have anything dangerous in that. He's clipped. Thanks, mate. Nothing late. Time at Curtis. 48. Okay, cheers. Aggressive, good through the middle. Matt, give 10, Matt, give 10. Out. Keep going. Okay, your 10. Got behind it. I think it passes. Yeah. Coming into 1. All good. Go, 3. Out. Move! Blake, square. Through home, Jenny, wait! Go, 4. Back, 4, right, keep up. 4. Keep going, keep up. 5. Happy. Go, last. Keep going. On the outside. Grounded. Going into 6. 200. Go, 3. Good out here. Blake, you're short. Pass is clear. Yep. Down here. 4. 3. Push up, Regan. Go, 1. Beyond. Behind it. On 1. Grounded. Coming into 2. Yep. Wait the line. Oh. Go, 3. Line is good. Up, down. Went to the side, grounded. Coming into 4. Okay, 4. I'm in line with it. Pass is clear. Coming into 5. Okay, nothing silly here. Casey's get up now. 1 foot, Daniel. 1 foot, gotta wait. Wait. Go, 1. Grounded. 1 to 2. Coming into 2.
Contrasted fortunes as Canterbury run away 46-28 winners in a scintillating game in the heat at Belmore. Geordie Mazzoni picking up a double, while Drew Hutchison, Blake Taff and Jack Todd were amongst Canterbury's best. For North Sydney, they start 0-2, last year's runners-up, in a little bit of trouble to start 2025. Let's take a look at some of the key performers in our Stats Deep Dive. Right now, and Blake Taff is the man that is front and centre. A personal tally of 18 points from 4 tackle breaks, and he had a handy link roll, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists as well. He picked his moments when to chime in with ball in hand, and if they want a utility in this side, if they want something a little bit different, while Burton is out injured, Taff could very much come in and fill a role in the 7A. But Jack Todd is a man that might put his hand up to come in on the bench now that Viliami Kikau is injured. 187 metres, 13 carries, a line break, 3 tackle breaks. We saw that 50-metre individual try we just witnessed there. He's an absolute machine in the middle third. He made 26 tackles, didn't have a miss. He's definitely one to keep an eye on for Canterbury. Jonathan Sewell, we saw him debut last year. He had 173 metres in this one, 8 tackle breaks, most of them coming off that individual try. The only critique I have on Jonathan is that he just needs to do a little bit more with the ball in hand. But let's take a look now at the North Sydney Bears and Ben Tolte. He was a bit quieter this week with the ball in hand, but his defensive workload in the heat is something to admire. As we mentioned last week, he did the trainer trial with the Melbourne Storm, and you just feel that experience is something that North Sydney lack a little this year, and that will be very, very important for them. Nathaniel Roach, he picked his moments when to run out of 90, picked up that try, had 31 tackles in the heat. He's a handy backup, he's worthy for an NRL roster spot. His importance, as I just mentioned with Tolte, it's going to become so critical, especially in games where they do not have any Melbourne Storm players to pick from, such as Bronson Garlick. He had 2 tries, ran over 120 metres, had 4 offloads, played 6 to start, but I think he kind of shifted between edge and 6 a little bit because Jesse Marshall did go off injured in the first 15 minutes, and we do hope that he makes a quick recovery. Now it's time for this week's Team of the Week. This week's Team of the Week, Blake Taft from the Dogs at fullback, Alex Love and Hayes Dunster on the wings, Todd Jenkins and Billy Smith in the centres, Tamani Barnett and Brad Schneider in the halves. The forwards, Lurin Pateo, Brad Ferdley up front, Sam Healy the hooker, Jack Todd, Jacob Laban, Dylan Egan in the back row. That leaves the bench of Riley Pollard once again along with Caleb Navale, Tanistale Smith and Bronson Garlick. Jacob Laban is this week's Player of the Week. It's time to do our deep dive. As we've said a couple times now, Jacob Laban is just a victim of circumstance. The Warriors have so many good up-and-coming talents coming through that what Jacob Laban's been doing is kind of been ignored by a lot of Warriors supporters and a lot of coaches and whatnot at the club. A lot of people thought he may have a chance to start on the edge this year. That didn't materialise the way we probably thought it would, but what we have seen in the New South Wales Cup is more than enough to suggest that he'll be on his way once again. Well, that concludes this week's New South Wales Cup recap. It's now time to shift gears up north to Queensland for the first time as we take a look at the Clydesdales up against the Norths Devils, who are the premiers in last year's competition.
At the back. Keep going. Contact's okay. Yeah, mate.
Four now!
Four, clear it! Wait! Not on him! Milking! Not on him! Go four. The ball's grounded on the line. You happy with the sideline? I'm happy with it. Yeah, ball's on the line. Keep going. On four. In the grounding.
All good, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Now! Hold!
Four.
Good line.
Short. Down. Good, mate.
Wait, Pat!
Go.
Good line. What's that, mate?
It's okay.
Down.
No impact here from him.
No. Agree, mate.
Now!
Hold! Hold!
Hold middle! Go four.
Good. Pass is good.
Pass is good.
Down,
Right.
mate.
Go three. 17 gets there. Keep going. Grounding.
Grounded, mate. You happy in
Yes.
leader?
Hey, Sam.
Left are good.
Right side's good here as well, mate. Good in the middle. That's backwards. That's a try.
I'm happy, mate. Backwards or small.
Back to tackle one. Touch more now. Here. Go four. 9. Good for me. Keep going. Play on. Try. Ball's down.
You got it?
Go 3. 15,
No bigger,
2
no
deep.
bigger than that, Taylor.
15.
No bigger on the 10.
Good now. Try.
Down.
No.
Gone.
Keep going on 3. Keep going. That's okay. Try.
Yeah, I've got it down.
One marker. Kick. Good.
That emphatic, the Norths Devils, the reigning premiers, doing it once again. 44 points to 8 winners over the hapless Western Clydesdale. Now, for a bit of context for this result, the Dolphins feed into the Norths Devils, and we saw the likes of Mason Teague, we saw there LJ Nonu, Storm O'Sullivan, Kenny Bromwich go up against those Clydesdales who don't have any NRL affiliates, but the Clydesdales held their own. Let's take a look at some of their best performers. Deep dive then, we start off with Joseph Litamanu. He had 2 tries, a line break, highly involved. He did his best in what was a well-beaten side there. Corey Fanning, a former Rooster Parramatta player, he was the best work rate of the badly beaten side, running over 100 metres, the only player in this game for the Western Clydesdales to do that. He had a try assist. He'll be a key player to watch this season. He will also be their leading point scorer as he is the primary goal kicker. On a Clyde Duggan, the dummy half, he picked his moments when to run well, forced a dropout with his short kicking game. 23 tackles, no missed. He also did have a tackle break. So with the Clydesdales, as I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit harder to assess them because we don't really have too much of a gauge on them, with all due respect, so it's going to be a rough old year for them. Let's see how the Devils performed. So on to the Devils now, and Jackson Sherrob, a try and offload, 5 tackle breaks, 28 tackles on the edge. He was highly involved, came up from St George Illawarra, and he'll be keen to put on a big show this year. What about Jacob Gagan? 2 tries, over 100 metres, 7 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks. He's been around so many systems now. I remember when he debuted for Cronulla back in 2014, and I thought he's a good rangy centre. He's just been so unlucky with injuries, Jacob Gagan, and hopefully he can string together another strong season for the Norths Devils. Finally, Mason Teague, leading tackler in this game with 41 tackles. He had 12 runs, 84 metres, a try, 2 tackle breaks. He'll be pushing for an NRL jersey at some point this season. Kenny Bromwich, he had 2 try assists in this one. Sean O'Sullivan had 3 try assists. So definitely some good signs for these players that will be trying to push back into the NRL very, very soon. Let's now move down to Sunshine Coast, and it was a big win for the Falcons over the Hunters, who welcome back some NRL stars of their own. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Outside. Yep. Good, mate. No drama. 30 metres, 12 needs to go 10. Chase good.
We've got some, boys. We've got some.
Play on.
Thanks, mate.
Good, mate. No touch. All good? Yep. Good.
Don't pass. Initiate. Keep going. He goes through.
Down.
Yep.
Good, mate. Chase good. Not play that.
Keep going.
Backwards,
Still
Sunny
two,
Coast.
backwards, still 2.
Play on.
Better, mate. Well done. Defensive. Keep
Hello.
going. Keep going. Half is good.
Good, mate.
Short.
Stand now. Left foot here. Hold. Hold. Wage.
Go 2.
Line's good. Down. Keep retreating. Good now. 13's gone 10.
Get inside. Yep.
Last one. Down the line.
Stand up. Go. Up. Ball down.
Good, mate.
Sunshine Coast, you could call it revenge. A 28-6 win over the Papua New Guinea Hunters, who eliminated Sunshine Coast from the finals last year. We saw some NRL stars go around there. Disappointing to see Stuart Farlongo exit the game sort of midway through the first half of a HIA. He did have some strapping under his eye after the game. He'll obviously work his way through the protocols. Grant Anderson picking up 2 tries in the space of 4 minutes for his first game time of 2025 for the Hunters. Obviously a rough first outing for them. But now let's take a look at the talking point out of this one. It was a hip drop for Nelson asofa-solomona, but he is free to play. Let's take a look at the tackle in question.
I'll stay again.
For the Falcons, Grant Anderson, what a game from him. 2 tries, he ran over 200 metres, 2 line breaks, a line break assist, 7 tackle breaks, 4 offloads. If anyone falls out of this Melbourne backline, they may be staying in reserve grade for a while to come, purely because of this man in the number 3 jersey. We've seen him at NRL level before, and he's an absolute weapon. So Grant Anderson doing some good things there. Fallon Peters, he had 13 runs, 144 metres, 45 tackles in a game high. Some strong efforts throughout. He was promising again, as he was the Falcons' Rookie of the Year last year. But the big talking point, we just saw it. Nelson asofa-solomona, 3 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 83 post-contact metres, 14 tackles, 12 runs for 127 metres. We did see him placed on report midway through the second half for a hip drop tackle. He was given just a concerning act notice by the QRL judiciary. He's free to play for Melbourne this week. So now let's take a look at the Papua New Guinea Hunters. And Elijah Roltinga, the man to impress there. He had a try, a line break, 12 runs, 134 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 15 tackles, 2 of them ineffective. He'll be a shine of strike player this year because they've lost a lot of their spark. Due to Rimbu going to the Super League, it's a big loss for them. He was able to generate so much second phase, play through the middle third. So Roltinga and these backs will have to lift. Speaking of forwards that need to do that, Ayla Alu, 12 runs, 85 metres, 26 tackles in a team-high effort. Strong efforts throughout. As I mentioned, in the absence of several forwards, he needs to lift this year in 2025. And then finally, Alex Max. He had 12 runs, 127 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 38 post-contact metres. He shone towards the end of last year. Fingers crossed he can lift that form back up. But next we go to Barlow Park, where it was one of the talking points of the round. Jeremiah Nanai, Jake Clifford, Ronald Darby, Zach Laban, all on show for the Northern Pride against the Tweed Seagulls. Let's see how they did as they look for NRL selection.
Shoot is good. Take him up. He's good there.
Go two. Lynn is set up now. Hold. Go three. Walk out. Walk out. Forward. Moving. Hold. Now. Ball come 10. Keep going. Oh, good. Three. Good.
These minor premiers with a bit of work to do after the opening round, losing by just 4 points to Tweed in the final analysis, but overall they really did struggle. Jake Clifford made 7 errors in this one, 5 of them handling based, so even if he gets an NRL call-up, he's going into this one rusty. But at the same time, these guys go back in from injury, just need a bit of a hit out through the legs at the moment. For Tweed, though, a very well-deserved win. Let's take a look at some of the best performers in our stats deep dive. Let's deep dive now. We're going to start off with Jeremiah Nanai. Now, he was brought down to this competition because of defensive aspects and some other things as well. But let's take a look at the stats. 106 metres of the ball, line break assist, 27 tackles, 4 Mr. Ineffective. He was energetic but didn't stand out. That could be a good thing. Despite the whispers going around, he might be parachuted straight back into this first grade side. Up next, Marley Bitagane, the man from Africa. And he delivered good. He got the opening try, 12 runs, 120 metres, had 29 tackles, 2 missed. Strong efforts throughout, along with Mason Kidder, who had a very sound game off the pine, despite getting absolutely lit up in that hit you saw at the beginning of the package. Then you got Rob Darby. 15 runs, 170 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 2 offloads. Per reports at the ground, defensive positioning still remains suspect. But given the outside back problems, he may enter calculations. Now let's take a look at this Tweed side and Tom Weaver. First of all, the current Titans youngster. He did well defensively on the right edge, marking up on Nene, dominated the kicking game. He also had a deceptive running game too for that second try. Absolutely elite stuff there. Meanwhile, next up, Tukey Simpkins on a surface that is impressive, let alone that boggy Barlow Park surface. They've been heavily impacted by some rain up there over the first couple of months of the year. Bloody good effort from Tukey Simpkins in this one. 3 offloads, 3 tackle breaks. And then Jacob Bailiff-Wenke, he had 14 carries, 111 metres. He ran a great line off that short ball we saw from Weaver. 3 tackle breaks, 83 post-contact metres, 20 tackles, 2 missed. If he's an option, then he will be okay. So a lot of focus on the Cowboys in this one, given the fact of the NRL implications. You start 0-2. You immediately start looking back at these grades, don't you? But let's now move to the Sunday matches, and we kicked off in Brisbane, where the Brisbane Tigers hosted the Capras on Sunday afternoon.
On that occasion, finding Condon only a couple of metres away as Graham feeds it short. They're over the Capras. They've got the... Tigers looking to level proceedings here. Smith got past one. Can he beat another? Yes, he can. Josh right on the Tigers' try line here, the Capras.
Outside and through.
Couple of tackles remaining. They go through the hands. Lovely ball out to the debutant. Tavita now Fahu.
Outside. Who?
Can he get there? Capras coming across. He's found a way. Kobe Williamson. He is a try-scoring machine. Dawn barking instructions only a metre out the Tigers. Dawn will go himself and scores. Caleb Dawn underneath the posts. And now Natapu, first receiver. Jack's little dummy. The captain. Oh, beautiful late pass away. Sedu 2. Now Fine Enganofo will go himself here. And he gets there. Fine Enganofo like a freight train.
Go. 4.
Fence, and now Fine Enganofo goes himself. And he's got a double, and here comes Central Queensland. Out, Capras running into the breeze as he moves in here, Blakemore. Important kick this one. And that's a play. Sikahela inside the 20, 24 each. The Tigers and the Capras, and here's a valuable penalty. Conditions with the breeze. And this to give the Tigers lead once again, and he does exactly that. Seconds remaining. Graham a dummy half. Aaron Moore, Blake Moore, bodies in motion, Nixon punt, takes on Bradley, beats Bradley, back on the inside, tapped on by Blake Moore. Was he taken without it, Aaron Moore? Is this going to be a penalty? Yes, it is. To come away with a point for the Capras as he sends it through. And
Now, a 26-all draw in the opening week of the season. A very entertaining game between the two sides. In this one, the Brisbane Tigers had that one for a little while, but then they let those 2 late tries in, and then we got into the squeaky bum area where those penalty goals became ultra important for the two sides in this one. Let's take a look at some of the best performers now in our stats deep dive. And let's start off with the Brisbane Tigers. Setu Tui came from the Warriors, did a train and trial with them, but he's looked in good nick. A try, 16 runs, 135 metres, a line break assist, 6 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. That's what you want from a guy that's had experience in an NRL system, because it helps guys like this next guy, Kobe Williamson. A youngster, with the Melbourne Storm that we've seen, plus Flegg, had some NRL trials last year, also this year. 10 runs, 122 metres, 8 tackle breaks, a well-deserved try. He had a line break as well. He's going to improve game on game, and he's one the Melbourne Storm have a bit of a keen eye on as far as progression in this year. And then finally, Joe Stimson. He's been around the traps, the Bulldogs, the Storm, and the Titans. He's ended up here at the Brisbane Tigers to provide some experience. 16 runs, 122 metres, 3 tackle breaks, 47 post-contact metres, 27 tackles, just the 1 miss. But as I said, this signing's all about experience. Let's move on to the Central Queensland Capras and Harrison Graham. He picked the right moments when to run the football. So important for a dummy half. He's playing for his NRL future, it feels like. And as young dummy halves go, they are pretty much in demand at the moment. He also had a line break and a try assist, as well as a line break assist. A game high of 40 tackles as well. Next up, we've got Tyler Zepanowski. Scored the first try for the season, ran over 120 metres, 54 post-contact metres, 19 tackles at 95% efficiency. He's one of the co-captains at the Central Queensland Capras this year and will be a key asset for this side. Then we got John Finnegan-Ofo. He's picked up a quick-fire double within 3 minutes. 4 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, as we saw in the package. Tackled well as well. He has a big impact role off the bench and delivered in spades. Now we're going to take it out to the Chook Pen at BMD Cougar Oval for the clash between the Wynnum Seagulls and the Burleigh Bears. A topsy-turvy affair. It's the best way to describe it. A game of 2 halves. Let's take a look at all the action from BMD Cougar Oval.
Stand up now! Get close! Stay close! Hold that line! Good on 2. Ball down. Up on 3. Head on 3. Good. We'll go. Hold it, mate. Pass. Good right. 8! No touch. No, keep going. Yep, no touch. Backwards. Pull down. Good, mate. Quick to the ball. 8! Go, fine, good. Pull down. Come in. Go 3. Back on 3. Good. I think that's that as well, yeah. Go last. Fine, good. Back on last. Good. Right, good. That's good. Yeah, I'm happy with the last right here. Yep. 5. Middle needs 10. Middle! Good. 110. You're coming. Through now. You're coming. They got good grounding, mate. Yep, all good. Up, mate. Just here, mate. Hold ya. Hold him. Go last. Right, backwards. We can't pull down. The ball now. On again. Still got it. Josh. Caught in. Hold. Go 3. Fine, good. Pull down. Off behind here. Hold. Go 3. Good.
Dive now, and we start off with Jock Madden. He really led Wynnum around the park well. 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, kick well, had a couple of offloads, but defensively remains quite the headache. He missed 6 tackles in this one for a 70% efficiency. So that's the one thing holding Jock back. Ben Farr, meanwhile, signing from the New Zealand Warriors, 15 runs, 133 metres, 2 line breaks, 2 try assists, very clever with the boot there for that try just before the break. Also had an offload. His general ball playing as well. A big asset for this Wynnum side. Then you got Ronald Filatoiga. This man is a beast. 17 runs, 184 metres, 71 post contact, 5 tackle breaks, 83 post contact metres, 4 offloads as well. Represented Fiji last year, was the leading try scorer for the Brisbane Tigers, and also did a trainer trial with the Brisbane Broncos. Let's now take a look at the Burleigh Bears. Lorenzo Militalo picked up the game's first 2 tries, 2 line breaks as well, 4 tackle breaks and an offload. If I'm critical on Lorenzo in one thing, he can really up his work coming out of his own end. He only had 9 carries in this one. For an outside back, particularly a feeder club of the Broncos, you want to see that up in the 12 to 15 range. Then you've got Sam Costa, our league scene lock of the year last year for the Queensland Cup. 11 carries for 82 metres, 30 tackles, no miss, 2 offloads. Effort on effort with Costa, as we said so often last year. And then at fullback, Credence Toya, a line break, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists, 4 tackle breaks, proving his creativity at the back. Well, we're getting ready to send you up to Davies Park in Brisbane for the clash between South Logan and Redcliffe. Some NRL stars on show here. Let's take a look and see how they went.
Keep going, still 3. Behind it. Keep going, mate, keep going. All good. Coming. Then needs to make the line. No tackle. On the line. Hold the trail! Through, Marty! Wait! Hold! Go 1. All good, mate.
He's left.
Go.
7,
Okay, no downtown!
Keep going here.
Everyone good? Keep going, mate. Not gone south yet. Keep going. Joe's still coming.
Good, mate. 1.
Go 4. 4 down, mate.
Logan
And beyond.
Bradley. Supported back to
Yeah, mate.
All good. Go 1. Go next line. All good. 3. Okay, left side, you tread. Right side, good. Okay, go, mate. All good. All good. All good. Go 1. Good. No ball, no ball.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. We've got it.
Flag! Here we go, 4.
11, go 10.
And we've gone 10. Ball's down, mate.
Proving too strong, 36-22. They started the better of the sides in the first half before a brave South Logan fight back. 3 tries in the space of 13 minutes on either side of halftime gave them a real sniff in this contest before the Dolphins just proved too strong in the second half. Possession and the heat proving a little too much. The Magpies did have the better NRL experience. Marty Tapa'u, Tyson Smoothie, Ben Takura in there, as well as young gun Kobe Black. Let's see how some of the stars performed in our stats deep dive. Deep dive, and Kobe Black gets our focus first of all. A strong individual game from Black. We saw that individual try just before. He had a line break assist, 3 tackle breaks, defended at a high efficiency. He was the predominant kicker for South Logan in this one. He's still a little way off NRL at the moment, but a good time. Kobe Black will be the man for the Brisbane Broncos in good stead. Next up, Rory Ferguson. 33 tackles in the middle third. Some strong efforts throughout. 2 line breaks, 3 tackle breaks, 10 runs, 111 metres, and he did burrow over for a good individual try. Next up, Va'a Simu. 3 tackle breaks, 83 post-contact metres. Very impressive effort there. He had a line break and a try. He did his job in defence, but most of it was on the field when South Logan had the ball. Let's now take a look at the Dolphins and Josh James. He had a 16-point haul for James in this one. He led them well around the park, a good kicking game, forced a dropout, 90% tackle efficiency, so good job there from the former Raider. Then you got Max Fairguy. I thought this week he may come into calculations for Junior Tupou, but the Dolphins are obviously going to stand firm with him in the side, but he's going to keep having to put pressure on. 10 runs, 102 metres, a line break, a try assist, 5 tackle breaks, an offload, defended well. He will enter NRL calculations sooner rather than later. And so will this man, All Blacks Tower. He has very high raps on him, a try, a line break, 11 runs, 132 metres, and he tackled at 86%. Now, our final match of the round takes us up to Townsville at Jack Manske Oval, where we saw the return of Jason Taumalolo. He's going up against his old mate James Tamo. Who would win the battle? Let's see for yourself at Jack Manske Oval.
He's back now. 3, catch, looking at grounding. Grounding. Happy, mate? Very good. Pass. Kick. Play that. You think you want him? Yep. Coming, mate. Yep. Get comms here, mate. Okay. Happy, Jeremy. No! One way. Wait. Go 2. Outside. He goes to him. 2. Stay up. Hold for the go, Ryan. 1 foot. Try. Go, no tackles. Outside. Good, mate. Happy. Good line. 4. Play on. Right. Go 1. 13, go 10. Outside. Yeah, all back in play. Yeah, that's fine. 1. Offload. Grounding here. Try. I'm happy with grounding. Yes. Francis. Go! Field goal. Yes. Happy? Yeah, happy. Mate. Yeah, mate. 3.
Plethora of NRL players at the Mackay Cutters' disposal. It was the Townsville Blackhawks with no NRL experience in this side, proving a little too strong in the final analysis. A 27-20 verdict, and it was the former London Bronco, Jack Campagnolo, that proved the star, as we'll see in the deep dive in just a moment. A lot of unsung heroes in this one. Let's see who made the Stats Deep Dive. To the Stats Deep Dive, and it was Jack Campagnolo back from England and leading the side to victory. Really important field goal too. It was a really edgy game. You had Mackay get those 2 tries, and it was just a really calming moment from a man with so much experience, and that got them a bit of momentum. They got the try, and then they sealed the game. He also defended really well in this one. Also, James Tamo, big ups to James. 12 for 147, 23 tackles made, a team high, 2 offloads, in a game that saw the opposition pack have Tom McKaylee and Jason Taumalolo. For James Tamo, a man that was maligned a little bit by us last year, to come in and do the job he did, an absolutely amazing effort. Then you got Josh Stuckey, 15 runs for 127 metres, a line break assist, a try assist, 3 offloads, 16 tackles. He held the middle well with Tamo against a formidable Mackay pack. Moving on now, forward looking at the Mackay Cutters. There we are. Semi Valame, 11 runs, 133 metres on what was a difficult Townsville surface. A line break, 3 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, and he will come in at NRL calculations as well of a couple of guys. Rob Darby's been named this week, but if he slips up, he comes in for a bit of talk. Also, Jackson Barlow, who had a bit of an interesting afternoon. Xavier Kerrish, now he picked up a try. Defensively sound for a young hooker at 93% efficiency, also forced a dropout. He is a key watch for North Queensland fans this year, with Reece Robson's impending departure to the Roosters. I expect at some stage this year we may see him in first grade just to give him an opportunity before the NRL, so maybe expect State of Origin. We might see him on the bench. And then you got Jason Taumalolo. It's a quiet but successful return in this one for JT. We talked about James Tamo a moment ago getting the advantage over him, but this is all about just getting miles in the legs for Jason Tamo. He had over 100 metres, an offload, no real tackle break, nothing that pokes eyes out at stat sheets, but it doesn't need to be that way for players coming back into this side. And Jason Taumalolo, he got through his work. He'll be an interesting watch this week against the Broncos. But let's take a look now at this week's League Scene Queensland Cup Team of the Week. Queensland Cup Team of the Week. Credits Toyer at fullback for Burleigh, Mulatalo and Fulatoiga on the wings, all coming from that game. Jacob Gagan and Grant Anderson in the centres. Jack Campagnolo at 5'8". Jock Madden, the halfback, two of the big game managers from the weekend. Tuki Simpkins is a prop. Marley Bitagana, the other one. Harrison Graham is the hooker. Jared Purcell and Jackson Sherb in the back row. Mason Teague locking the scrum. The bench of Cody Hunter, Rory Ferguson, Sam Costa and Fallon Peters. Now it's time to do a bit more of a deep dive in this week's Player of the Week. Now, if you're looking for a reason why this competition is so important, then you cannot go any further than Grant Anderson. Now, Grant has played in this competition in more games than most players in the NRL because he has had a journey and a half just to get into a position where he's such a beloved figure in our game, and he proved it against PNG. Had many tackle breaks. He was just dangerous every time he got the ball in hand. We saw on the lead up to his second try, they were standing off him, they were waiting for things to happen, and this is why. He's just such a dangerous player, and he's going to get a reward on a wing this week in first grade. Congratulations, Grant Anderson, our Queensland Cup Player of the Round. And that's it for our lower grade wrap this week. This is our new format. This is how we're going to roll with things in 2025. Let us know in the comments below what you like, what you don't like, what you think we can improve on moving forward. This show is driven for the fans, and without you guys supporting us, then we're really directionless at times. So if you guys give us an insight what you want to see moving forward, then that will be greatly appreciated because we love the format as it is. But if you guys can think of a way to make it better, then it's absolutely fine by us. But on behalf of the entire League Scene team, I'm AJ Luke Antonio. Thanks for your company. We'll catch you next Wednesday.